All right. Hey, hello there, and welcome to Corey Loses, where tonight we're going to be doing some Monday night modding. So today we're going to be working primarily on some of the Lua events. So like we did last week, we're going to be converting at least one of the Galactic Conquest scenarios from XML to using the new Lua system. And then after that, we might do another one, or we might move on to working on some other stuff. But yeah, we do have... I'm going to go with Republic Commando music this time. We usually use KOTOR, so I thought I'd change that up a bit, see how that goes. But let's get into it. So the desktop capture seems to be working this time, which is good. So yeah, the one we're working on first is the Stars Align. I'm not sure we'll be able to see smaller Eric progressive GCs. Not sure what you mean, Nemesis. But yeah, so while I'm working, if you guys have any questions, I'm going to be watching chat. So feel free to ask. But yeah, so the way we're going to start this off, I have all the relevant files open already because I'm efficient like that. But we're basically going to start off by, we have the XML versions of the Stars Align stuff open here. As you can see, we don't need these Imperial and Rebel plots open, because all that stays the same. We just need this container plot so we can load up the proper Lua file. So the first one we need to do, this needs to get changed from GC Stars Align campaign to GC Story Universal, because that is a universal one for all the story. So we're just going to copy that, and we're just going to paste it like that. Corey, will you have upgrades like Phoenix Rising? So, no, that wouldn't work in Thrawn's Revenge for various reasons. For one thing, that relies very heavily on story scripting, which most factions in Thrawn's Revenge can't use. That's also why Phoenix Rising, I don't think you'd ever get past 3 playable factions. Because basically when you build the upgrades, it locks the old unit, unlocks the new unit, and then you can build the new unit. Whereas in TR, we can't lock or unlock units like that for any of the factions beyond the Empire, New Republic, or Empire of the Hand, because the story scripting for that is all, it's only accessible for those 3 factions, and there's nothing we can mod around that. So if we gave all those kinds of upgrades to those factions, then it's just completely unbalanced for every other faction. And also with the amount of units we have, if you tried to then add all the upgrades, you quadruple the number of units, you get a lot of lag. And that's another reason why Phoenix Rising, the performance is pretty laggy on the Galactic map. So there are some trade-offs there, and some that's just completely impossible for the mod. But well, there's Essence of War, Nemesis, but I'm not sure exactly what you're asking when you say, can we see them? Or are you asking if there's going to be more smaller ones? Alright, so we have Story Universal here, so we have that. And we need to change this to Align Start, because the Lua script over here, what this does is this loads this Lua script that you can see right here, and this looks for the event that starts the Galactic Conquest. So that's why these all have to be unique identifiers, unless you want all the same events to happen. So we have Align Start is what we're going to call this one for the Stars Align, and we are going to just duplicate that, and we're going to set this to Align Start equals begin align. And we'll also duplicate this, and we're setting that to begin align. There is going to be some level of research in the mod, like when you unlock the phalanx, when you have the new class modernization stuff, but we can't do like unit upgrades like that. So there we go, and we want global events. We always want global events, and we want to have this renamed. So what require means it's going to be loading another script. So we need require, goes to the story to conquest folder, to the align folder to align events, which you can see if we look here. So that's going here. This is the story folder where that script was that we were just editing. Then it goes into conquests, stars align, so I'll rename that to just align. And we have all these files in here. So that's where it's loading them from. And I'll have to reopen those because I renamed the folder. There we go. So now it's all back. Now that should load. Will there be multiplayer campaigns? Julian, there's already the Thrawn campaign in multiplayer, and we'll be converting other ones. The thing is that multiplayer is a lot more limited than single player, so a lot of the features in the mod can't be used in multiplayer. Well, yeah, so I've got, these are all the XML files that we're converting from, and on the left here. And on the right is all the Lua files, like you said. So basically, these are just here for reference. So when we start converting the events, I'm going to be going through here and trying to move this stuff. Basically, we're going to make it so the left stuff is mostly empty. The right stuff gets more full. But we've done what we need to for this one. I'm just going to check global events to make sure that we don't need to do anything else there. So I think it's in Conquest. Yep, there it is. And because we are now, this is going to be another one with another playable faction. I need to make sure we have the Pentastar player. Pentastar. So what this function does, we need to be able to know which faction the player is playing as, and that turns on things like the leader speeches and all the other media events like that. So what this does is it goes through and event. I might have made a typo there. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so what this does is it goes, if find player rebel, so this looks for the New Republic, is human, then it evaluates whether or not you're playing it or the AI is. So if it is human, then notification equals enable branch New Republic flag. So what that does is it goes into this file again, and it turns on, which event was it? This one. So this notification tells this event to turn back on the New Republic stuff. And so you can see that it turned reward type is disable branch, faction branch New Republic set to 0. So that means it's turning on the New Republic stuff. And then if you look down here, you can see that the intro welcome New Republic. So this is the leader speech at the start of the campaign for the New Republic. It's in the faction branch New Republic branch, which sounds redundant, but it's not. And that gets turned on. This gets turned on, and then it'll only use those events if you are playing as the New Republic, not if the AI is. And is there a particular reason you're converting from story scripting to Lua? It gives us a lot more control over what we're doing. There's some stuff that'll have to stay as XML, but one benefit, for example, is a lot of people are familiar with the overflow planets we have in the Air Progressive campaigns that make it unwinnable, because we need to have those there if the XML scripts are trying to spawn stuff for factions that don't exist anymore. So that gets rid of the need for those. We can spawn stuff in some different ways. We can have it a bit more organized, and overall it just gives us a little bit more power when doing this stuff. But that's what that does, now that we have Pentastar all in there. I need to make sure that's all correct. It looks like that was. Enable branch Empire flag, enable branch Pentastar flag. Yep, okay, so that's good. So, right now these are just directly converted from the, so we're in the align file here. These are all just converted directly from the Orinda events. I just copied and pasted. So we're basically just going to be modifying those into the new ones for Stars Align. And I'm basically just sticking with the really simple GCs right now, the ones that are just like start the GC, throw up a speech, and spawn some units at the start. Those are the easier ones. TR beginner friendly, or should I play base game first? If you play base game first, it might confuse a little bit more when you move over to mods. There's a lot in the mods that it's a bit easier probably to pick up if you just start with that. Because otherwise you might go in with some different expectations about how stuff works. And so we might have the tutorial back in by that point, which will definitely be helpful, but we've also got some pretty simple Galactic Conquests that are a little bit easier. But we try to make it as beginner and veteran friendly as we can, so different Galactic Conquests are catered towards different skill levels, different experience levels. And we want to keep working on some of the difficulty level stuff so that easy is probably a little bit easier, and hard is a bit harder, and normal is normal. Alright, anyways. So I'm just going to shift this stuff around so it's in a more clean area, and there we go. So align events are first. We're actually going to have to add this. So Orinda is now going to be changed to align. Orinda to align. Orinda to align. Orinda to... I could do Control H or Control F and replace, but I just want to make sure I do align New Republic events. This one needs to be changed to align Pentastar events. There we go. So we'll also need to register those events. So this will make it actually load up the functions in here. So register Pentastar events. One of the things I really liked in 2.2 is the new retreat ability. Are there any new abilities planned for 2.3 or later versions of TR? Yes, we will be working on other abilities as we think of them. Right now, the only abilities we're directly planning are the World Devastator ones. However, there was something that we were working on in the middle of 2.2, which we didn't include in 2.2 that will be in 2.3 most likely. So we'll probably have some information on that sooner or later. And let me know if the music is too loud or can't be heard at all or something, because it's hard to judge the volume when I'm not listening to me as well. But there we go. So align Empire events. Let's start with that. So register Empire events new. So this is the function it comes into. Align events opens up, register events, then it registers the Empire events. So it opens this function, and this function opens register Empire events new, which is this function, and then register Empire rewards, which is this function. And then that happens. So that's how that all gets loaded. So it goes open this one, then open this one, then open the rewards, and that's all there. So you can see we have two events here from Orinda. There's Universal Story Start, and then the delayed Rogers deploy timer, which actually we should probably... I'm actually going to delete Align Pentastar events, because I think I did a copy of the New Republic, when it's probably easier to just do a copy of the Empire, because we already have a delayed event, which is what we need for Kane. Align Pentastar events. There we go. Any chance of getting more elite infantry units from the Republic? We want more varied infantry types, but the New Republic infantry is already, by a significant margin, the best in the game. Well, right now it's a quiet part of the music. It's not actually playing much. So it should pick up. There we go. It did pick up. Alright, so since we're in here, we still want Universal Story Start for the Empire. Let's actually open up the Imperial spawns. So these are what we have. We still want Universal Story Start. We don't want Rogris Deploy Timer. And we don't want this one. So we don't need this either. Well, our main focus with the regular New Republic infantry squads is more to give them different species within the original squad, rather than give them a lower tier squad like the Empire has with, like, army troopers. Because generally the New Republic would be a little bit higher end anyways. Rather than having spammable ones. Because that doesn't really fit with what the New Republic would be. But anyways, we've got local spawn planet. So we'll start off by seeing here. So we want someone at Arindy or Trassa Kataris next minor. I'll probably combine some of that. So let's start with Trassi. Trassi. Still Empire. And we're gonna go with Elite Squadron there. And we'll get Tridget to or Trassi as well. And then I'm going to move these ones. So we need to... Basically what this does, what this function is doing, when the event Universal Story Start happens, which starts right at the start, it's this event here, Universal Story Start, when always, so it just happens. So as soon as that happens, what the game does is it finds the planet Trassi or Trassi. So spawn planet equals find planet or Trassi, or Trassi as it's called in the code. Then Empire, so the variable name for the Empire, equals find player Empire, so it finds the player object for the Imperial faction. Then it's spawn unit, so this is the unit type we want to spawn, which is Elite Squadron, comma, spawn planet, which is the place we want to spawn it, which is Ord Trassi, which we found up there, comma, and then the thing you want to spawn it for, which in this case is our Empire variable. Then we do that again for Implacable, which is Apor Tridget. And now, though, we want to spawn more stuff, but we want to change the planet it's spawning on. So we want, let's say, Kataris. Let's do Anx Minor. No, is that the one I saw? I'm going to do Kataris. And we're going to do this for both Converion and Krenel. So we do that, then we're still going to have two, so I'll just copy these guys over. Reckoning and Corruptor. And if this worked, we don't need this anymore. So we're going to block comment, and this, what this does is it just turns the code off. Anything between this marker here and this marker won't actually be read by the game as code. So that turns it off. So now if they spawn, it means it's working. If they don't, it means it's not. But just to be sure, I'm going to comment these out as well, so it's not trying to fire the New Republic or Pentastar events out of that. Alright, so that should hopefully do that for the Empire. And that means it is time to test it. So I'm going to make sure that this is on windowed mode for my Steam. I'm actually going to pull that over. Be a captain that gives 5% speed, damage, and health across all ground units. 3 times. Huh? Another feature I thought was great in 2.2 were the new companies. An idea I had for this was the Royal Stormtroop Academy and Coruscant, maybe like Wayland 2.0. Yeah, so there will be other companies and that kind of thing that we do. And ideally some stuff that gives bonuses other than just the production cost and speed. So we do want to have like more research and infrastructure based stuff. There's some stuff I want to test out with the what's it called? Corporate sector in particular. What faction am I using? Pentastar. Nope, Empire. Not Pentastar alignment. Oops. Boros. Okay, so I just want to make sure... Okay, Tracy and Kataris were valid places for that. Should probably change it to... Orinda.
Mission log.
Okay, so we're going to change that to Orinda. I messed something up, though. So GC Store Universal. Align events. Mr. Empire event. Oh, that... Nope. Because this isn't loaded yet. What did I break? It's loading something. It's loading the Orinda ones, but... Line start... Align all events. And... turn those off. Engineers and medics are things that were in the mod before and will probably be coming back. It's just they weren't in for 2.2 because we're restructuring a lot of the ground stuff. There we go. Okay, so it works. We have our 4 heroes. We have these guys over here. At Arinda, we have some at Ordrassi.
Moving to coordinates.
Looks good. I don't like the map layout for this map, so it'll probably be changed, but those events are converted. There's 1 out of 3 factions done. Any update on it? Well, we're probably going to be starting to show off some of the scaling changes and some other stuff in the Maldred playthrough. Once it's more close to being finished, it'll have a news post and a video covering the major changes. But it's all going to be part of 2.3. Like, we're not going to be doing like smaller individual updates for that stuff, because that breaks saves, and then people get upset. People are still complaining about the update in June breaking their save. But time to move on to... Well, actually, we can get rid of this. We can actually delete this entire file now if we really want to, which I'll probably go through and do later, because these are now no longer doing anything. But let's close that off. And now we've got Sandbox Align Rebels. So we're going to be converting these guys over next. Let's go over to New Republic events. Actually, let's turn that back on. So let's align New Republic events, register New Republic events. So now to load those. So right now we're just converting more events from XML to Lua. Rahul. Sort of similar to what we did last week, if you were here for that, or if you saw that. The VOD should be available. Alright, so, New Republic. This one's going to be a little bit more simple to convert. I mean, it's all fairly simple, but... Let's get Brental over there. I'm just selecting it partially because I want to copy it, and partially because then it'll highlight all the ones that are spawning in the same place. We're going to replace Spawn Planet with Find Planet Brental instead of Corthenia. We still want to find the Rebels, because that's New Republic. And Mon Mothma team. So Mon Mothma team. And the other one here, we have Akbar, so we want Home 1. Then we want Luke Skywalker Jedi team. Luke Skywalker Jedi team. And that's all 3 we want there, so I'm actually gonna... No, I won't delete them yet, never mind. Next up, we have some Generis people, so it's Aaron, Kraken, and Han at Generis. So we've got Generis, we've got Han Solo team, and we've got Aaron Better Get Kraken team. So that should work. And that leaves us Ilor on Ithor. So we'll bring it to Ithor. And that's Ilor Karuska. And this is all at Universal Story Start, so it's already happening. And so that's good. We need Lando Calrissian at Levian. So Levian. And we want... I'm going to put Katarn on Levian with Lando, rather than have him be off on his own on Farfin. So edit. Block comment. There we go. So that should work for the New Republic. We're going to test that out. The ASCII art. So we do that. Galactic Conquest. No one said anything about that. New Republic. Okay, so we've got everyone. Lando, Akbar, Han, Luke, Katarn, Mon Mothma, Aaron, and Ilor. They all seem to be doing what they're doing. No one's over an enemy planet, which can happen if you're putting them in the wrong spot.
Mission log updated.
Okay, so we're good there. And that just means we now have to convert the PA, which is a little bit different because they don't have a story file. This is another reason we're doing it this way, because it lets us standardize the formatting for some stuff where you can't have a story file for the other factions, for the Pentastar alignment on, all the factions after the third. Whereas we can have the Lua kind of story file. We still can't lock and unlock units, as I was talking about earlier, but we can do everything else, and this just lets us format it in a cleaner way. Because before we used to have these other separate scripts. So I'm gonna scripts store. Oh, went back too far. We have these other scripts here, storyline campaign, where we had to do all this extra stuff, but now it's all centralized. Iconless underground build. That's probably the AA5 speeder truck, I think, that you were seeing. There's been a few new ground vehicles added, mostly for the CSA, but New Republic's got that one, and then Bob gave us the A5 Juggernaut from PR as well. He's been working on a lot of ground models and stuff for PR and TRs. I think it's been going back and forth for those. So there are a few new things that are going to be coming, and I've got to do some more art too. But because we can't convert it from that to that, we are going to convert it from this to this. So this is no longer register Empire events. We don't want Empire. We want register Pentastar events. So we'll align Pentastar events. That can come back on. Register Pentastar events. I'm just going to make sure this is all switched over. Register Pentastar. Oh, that shouldn't be that. Capitalized. There we go. And then register Pentastar rewards. Anything else? Progress deployed reward. That should be changed to Kane. Kane deployed reward. Because Kane spawns 20 weeks into the GC. I'm gonna move that down to 100 just so that we can test this. That's good. And we're also going to need to go back and open SW data XML conquests align, open the line, because a lot of the fourth factions and on, we spawn the heroes just through here, which we technically could just leave, but I want to just make it all standard. So for this one, what planet do you spawn on? You spawn on Entrala, so we're going to find Entrala. We're going to spawn Grant there, and we're going to make sure we change that to Pentastar. Oh, you can be lowercase, just for formatting. Doesn't actually matter. Pentastar. Pentastar. There we go. Well, I guess we need more music. I guess, well, it's recommending KOTOR, so go with the classic. Alright, so Entrala, Pentastar, we have Grant and we have Jarek. Do they have any other starting heroes in this GC? I don't think they do. And because of how this works, we need to delete this in 3 places, which is annoying. Oh, Saris. Can't forget Saurus. Yun should be done soon, too. I think it is just those three. Okay, so we deleted it from the first one. We can delete it from the second one here. This is another good part of the scripts we have for spawning all the units now that we were working on last time, too. Or the time before that. Where we can all do it in one place. I want to, even for the ones that don't have air selection for the GCs, I really want to convert it over to this. Because it's so much easier. Alright, one more place to delete stuff. Hey Kumar, how's it going? Are there special buildings? Which special buildings? Like the corporations? Because those are tied to specific planets. If that's what you mean. Alright, so we have those over 2 line Pentastar events. And Kane deploy times, Kane deploy reward, Kane deploy... Kane deploy reward. Alright, so in this one it works a little bit differently. So Kane deployed reward, we need to change P Empire to P Pentastar, find player, Pentastar. We still want it to be Bastion. If start player, find owner, or start planet, so that's Bastion, dot get owner. So if it's owned by equals find player Empire. So if the owner, so this returns a faction that owns Bastion, and then it evaluates if that faction is the one we want, which is the Pentastar alignment. Then we can ignore this for a second. It spawns these units, and we're going to change this to P Pentastar, which is really just a copy over of this. So I'm going to copy that entire thing, paste it in there. So we have Reaper, we have Gregor, we have Dekit, we have Dynamic, or Altabesk, we have Winotro. And I gotta change this to spawn list Reaper. And what this part does, that we ignored earlier, if p.empire, which we need to change to p.pentastar, is human, then story event Rogrish join speech. Then we're gonna change that to this. So this checks if the Pentastar alignment is being played by the player. If it isn't, then you get nothing. If it is, then it starts Kane's speech about being back. So that should do that. The battle buildings? I'm not sure what you mean. Special buildings and battles? Okay, so this shouldn't matter. Alright, so this will only happen if you still own Entrala. We'll probably leave it that way because we used to just find another planet that's owned by the PA. What we might do instead is just, if you don't own it, you don't get it. And we'll make it a goal for the PA to defend Entrala. There should be more stealth commando units and diplomats. We've given the raid ability back to Zinj, but as far as diplomats go, we used to have the diplomacy feature where you had like political control on all your planets, and if it went too low, they flipped. But the thing was, it just felt so tedious. Like, you can't do proper diplomacy in Empire War where you're like negotiating with other factions. But the planar influence thing, just unless we significantly rework it, it wasn't very fun. And we don't want to add a... We don't want to add a feature just for the sake of saying the feature's there. It needs to actually be fun within the context of the game, which We even released it as a mod for FOC to test some of the stuff when Pox was originally working on it, and it just wasn't worth it. Alright, so let's see how that worked. Okay, so we have those guys. So that worked.
Moving to coordinates.
So it should be about 3 weeks in. What did I put it as? Was it 100 seconds? Yeah. So we're halfway through week 3. And we'll see if it works.
Of course.
Hey, they're here. We didn't get the speech. So that's unfortunate, but everything else worked. Where is it? Container. Kane return speech. Story trigger. Kane join speech. Where is that? Urek talks end. Oh, because there's no talks end event, is there? Oh, there it is. Never mind. Talks end, story lapse, tech level 2. Oh, because that's set on the actual timer. So never mind. This isn't tied to this. That's why it didn't fire. Corey, could you talk more about your idea for historical battles in TR, like in Total War that you mentioned last team? Yeah, one sec. Sorry, I just... Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, so basically the idea behind that is that, well, we do want to expand on the story option, or like the story missions in Galactic Conquest. That's more for like broad plots, because specific stuff won't work as well. Like you can't have the Battle of Bilbringi in a sandbox game, because you can't really guarantee that battle's going to happen. The forces will obviously be different if it does. And it wouldn't have the same implications, because if Thrawn's not there, then Thrawn's not there, and then who cares about the Battle of Bilbringi? But what we want to do is have kind of an instant action kind of setup for that, where you have the actual historical battle set up with the forces from each side, with story events within the battle, where you're basically just selecting it and going straight into the battle, and then you're playing it out from either side. Which works better for some battles than for others, but we'd like to find like a core set which does, and then test it within that. But yeah, so hold on, this should be good. So I'm gonna leave that 760. But yeah, so there's a few different ways we've talked about doing that. One is kind of a dummy setup GC, like the survival one, where we put on the planets and then you sort of buy an upgrade. Like a fake, technically it'd be buying an upgrade, but where on the build bar menu you select which battle you want to play on any given planet. If there's a battle, we'd only put the planet in the GC if there's a story battle available there. And once that's done, it triggers the battle. You start the battle, you have all the forces, and you just sort of have that sort of sandbox. The other alternative is trying to make it more of a skirmish thing, which is potentially doable, but also potentially messier. There's pluses and minuses to each, but... Because I think the benefit that people would want from skirmish is that they could do MP, but if you have it heavily scripted, then it's not going to work either way for multiplayer. It does desync, generally. But anyway, we got that converted, so there's Stars Align done. do we do another one? Or do we do something else? Actually, what I should do is commit that. So that I don't break anything. Is there anything I don't want to push yet? Nope, this all works. So Stars Align converted. Something else could involve Fall of the Republic. Let's push that. Pull the other stuff. Engine. I haven't seen some of this stuff yet, so let's look at it. Gladiator's been updated slightly by Bob. See, the UV errors have been fixed. Added the little turret models. They won't rotate, but they're there. Too much of a CPU drain. This is the thing that's missing an icon on the New Republic's build bar right now. Just a transport kind of thing for him. It was actually in the Thrawn trilogy. And then another kind of Juggernaut-esque vehicle to add some diversity for some of the Warlord factions. Like some would have the Juggernaut, some would have the Floating Fortress, some would have this guy. Alright, so now that that's finished pushing and I've stopped stalling, go to there, up. There we go. Accidentally closed that. So, let's do that. Through one magic press of a button, we have Fall of the Republic. Oh my god. A lot of the Fall of the Republic work is not necessarily reflected in-game yet. So, a lot of it will look fairly similar to last time you've seen it.
Log updated.
So what are we gonna do?
Navigating to coordinates.
Tactical battle imminent.
Enemy forces ahead.
Oh my god. What have I done? Thanks, windowed mode. I'm trying to get the edge. Amazing. All right, let's play Scrunch DAW.
Release the buzz droids.
I don't know why we have a CR90.
TIE squadron here.
This is awful.
Deploy buzz droids.
I don't think the ability's actually set up.
Squadron reporting.
I've got them in my sights. TIEs reporting here. Draw their fire.
All right. Let's go back to ICW. May as well get Era 5 out of the way, actually. We ever considered giving in our stealth or raid units again, but restricting it to space units? You couldn't really do that, because there's no raid function that exists for space. You can't use it that way. To do raids in space, you'd have to make them have galactic stealth. The thing is, if they have galactic stealth, they're never going to initiate a battle. So, can't really do anything. Hey, it's Pox. He abandoned me. It's good, Pox. I finished the first GC with only one time that I had to change something because it was still loading another file that it shouldn't have been. So, unlike the last 2 weeks, it wasn't 2 hours of sitting around with us breaking stuff. So, let's actually copy Arinda again. And this is going to be... Is it Kamas or... No, that looks wrong. That looks right. Yeah. 2 A's, then 1 A. Alright, so... Kamas... Kamas... Nothing broke, Pox. I won. Don't listen to them. Okay, move that to other view. View to other view. The only thing you'd be disappointed in so far is the fact that I've been using Notepad the entire time. So I'm a rebel. Oh, something I should do. Scripts, story. I don't think we need this at all anymore. Stars align one. I'll leave it there for now, actually. No, I won't. I'm a liar. Well, actually, no. Some stuff does use that, so I'll leave that there until it's all converted. But I'll go back into Conquest. Oh, it's already not referenced. Never mind. What am I talking about? We don't need to do anything. So, Pillion. Open container. Need these guys. Move you over there. And data. Scripts, story. GC, story, universal. I'm just... If I'm working alone, I don't... don't see the need for that. Because the linter's helpful, but I never make a mistake, so it's okay. But anyways, we need Kamos container. Kamos start. Kamos start equals begin. Kamos. I thought for a second there was still EAW happening, but I think it's just the KOTOR music with the unit sounds. Right, require global events, obviously. Then we need Kamos and Kamos events. In Kamos events, we will eventually need Empire of the Hand in this. But I'll leave that out until we have the Empire and New Republic done. Otherwise, we'll have the overlapping like we did before. Orinda Kamos events makes no sense. Here we go. I want to do Empire first, so I'll put them on the left. This is all staying until we get down here to the Empire of the Hand hero spawns, which we will eventually need to move over. That's what we're doing third. And let's start with our happy little friends, the Empire. I don't think they have a spawn timer on. No, it's all standard. Okay. So this is another simple one. Just need universal story start. Everything else can stay the same. Half of them spawn on Bastion. You have Brachus on Biss. Why do you spawn on Biss? You don't need to spawn on Biss. I'll figure that out when we go in game, and I'll find the planet they're actually supposed to spawn on in the core. Biss is destroyed. Bastion, Empire, we want Pelion and the Chimera. So that all works the same way. We have it finding the planet, we have it finding who it's spawning for, and then we're telling it what units to spawn. So we're going to have Dizra, we're going to have Pelion, we're going to have Tierce, and we're going to have Navit. That's all going to be on Bastion. That all makes sense so far. And we have 2 more shims. So I'm just going to copy this whole thing and I'll delete from there. Is the hand going to be in more GCs for 2.3, or is that being held for future version? They're already in all the GCs where they're relevant. With the era progression GCs being able to select the era, that'll make them, that'll give them a lot more options. And if we ever did, we'd like to do an unknown regions kind of GC, if we ever have the content for that. So hopefully at that point we'd be able to put them in more. But as it is, they don't fit in any of the era specific, but they're in all the era progressives except for Empire's End. And there should be another era progressive, so that'll also expand that a little bit. There we go, we have those guys. More shim. You can get out of here because we don't need that. We don't need this either. Let's duplicate that. So we need one more for steel on Orinda. We don't need this now. Which one did I get? Right over to that one. Okay, so that's everyone except for Brachus, which is fine because we don't know where Brachus is spawning yet. I'm just going to comment that all out. And we'll put him in... I could, but I'm choosing not to. Hey, I'm just doing it how you did it, Pox. I assumed you wanted it with spawn unit instead of spawn list for those. So we don't? I can switch it? Because that'd be nice. I think... Have I done everything I need to for this? Begin Kamas, Kamas events, global Kamas, 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 Kamas. Just so I don't forget, I'm actually going to go to global events and... There. We are going to be working with the underworld. Kamos Empire events, Kamos Empire events, Empire events, blah 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 blah. Alright, it looks like it should work. Not always. That's the main use of it. Because I think there's other stuff. Oh, it doesn't change the window size. Well, that's... We still... I mean, that's closer to what I wanted. Yeah. Kamos Crisis. The Empire. No! What did I do? Let's put him on Hakasi. Oh, I think I might know what I did. Yeah, this. False alarm. Easy Story Universal. That should work. So, little known fact about Empire at War. If you don't actually tell the game to load the proper Lua script, then it won't load the proper Lua script. Hey, it worked. Brachus is in the right place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is there anyone that's not showing up? Dizra? No, that's this one. Three. Okay, there is someone that's not showing up. Another bone-crunching 10. Alright, so we'll leave those. Brachus, Nevet. I'll figure out which one that is. I think it's the person spawning on Orinda. Yeah, it's gotta be Orinda, because if it's not in, then it won't spawn. Anywho. New Republic time. So, we are going to do... Coruscant first. I guess we'll do a spawn list then. So let's go into a line and let's grab the stuff from there. Wah, 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 wah. So it's still called Star Planet, but we want Rebel instead of P. Pentastar. And obviously we want different units. So first one is Gaversum. Then we want Han Solo on list. Gonna change that to be named spawn list Coruscant. Who else is on Coruscant here? Rogue Squadron Space. I'm actually gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna duplicate these ones so that we can just stop whenever we want. And Ilor, I'm like moving my neck to look behind my microphone right now. Lucenkia on Coruscant. Why does the New Republic have so many heroes? Can't they just be happy with who's in their life already? We'll have to leave that unlock event for now, because I don't know how we've structured those. I don't know if they work in the way you've changed it yet, Pox. Because I know you changed the way the other stuff's working, but I don't know if that included that. But anyways. Next one is Mon Calamari. So I'm not going to use spawn list for the other ones because it's still going to be, I think, just 2. So may as well just leave it. Galactic Voyager. Lando Calrissian team. Do the unlock events work? I'm not actually sure how those are set up, so I'm not going to try right now, but... Okay, let's do Yavin. Where Luke and Mara are. And Corrin. Oh. You could have been a spawn list. And Silgal, you definitely should have been a spawn list. And Kyle, oh god, there's so many Jedi. Alright, let's Alright, so there's Yavin. Where's how we need card on Mercure, and that's it. So that'll be a single one here. Mercure. And wild card. I'm gonna comment all that out. Okay, so we'll have to leave those for the lock-unlock events then. That's fine. Oh, Control-Shift-Q. Is anything gonna break about that? I don't think so. Alright, time to test. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I'll have to check the Empire one to see who's not spawning too. Yeah, that'd be. Okay, no one wants to spawn. It's not good. But since we're in here, I'm gonna check who's not spawning for the Empire. Oh, no one's spawning for the Empire. Okay, something in the New Republic one is crashing it. When in doubt, Conquest, Kamas. Oh, it's spawn planet, not start planet, that's why. I think that was it. Okay, I'm gonna check the Empire first. No! Why are you doing this to me? Let's see if it's those. You'd have to edit the files to change the menu background. It doesn't have it in mind because we still haven't made the 2.3 version yet for the background. Is it one of those that's breaking? Oh, fuck. What is breaking? Is it because this is local and then that's... That might be it. No, no, no. Only the first spawn planet's local? Okay. It is. But this one was working. And this one was working. Because this was working before any of this existed, and it had the multiple locals, and the other ones all have multiple locals, and it worked. Hey, Trevor. Yeah, I'll try it. Okay, so that didn't work. I'm gonna try commenting out the New Republic stuff and then seeing if it still works for just the Empire. Yeah, so that works. It's something in here for sure. Oh, the planet still have... Okay, so I don't think it should matter that that's never used. Eh. Still need to check the Imperial ones. Yeah, so that doesn't work. So it's not that. What stupid, pointless mistake did I make? Alright, well, we got one done, and I am hungry and need to do laundry, so I think we're going to leave this here for today. I'll figure out what's going on with that, but we already went through one properly, so I'm going to count it as a victory rather than sit here for another hour to figure out a comma was missing somewhere. But thanks for watching, everyone. We will be back next Monday with more Monday Night Modding, either doing something similar to this, or we'll potentially be doing some art. I do want to get some in some art ones. But then we won't be back for the next week. I won't be able to stream that following week because I'm going to be gone. But, yeah, sorry, Brandon. But anyways, thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.